What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Side Tangent. The last episode in this studio that we just started filming in, because me and Emily, my wife, are moving. So next episode you see from us will be in a different place, undisclosed location, still making the same great stuff. Parker, I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
In your left armrest, there's a pouch.
Well,
Right?
you
Lift it up. Hey!
Nerd gummy clusters.
Nerd gummy clusters. Hey!
You're so lucky I shouldn't have opened that beforehand.
I knew you wouldn't. I did not
almost-
know you would.
I
Actually,
almost
I thought like the minute you sat down, you were
I
gonna
almost
open it and
did because
figure
I
it
was like, I need something to.
because you're very fidgety.
I am very fidgety.
Yeah.
I have a funny story about these actually.
Wow. I didn't. Okay. Cool. I'm glad you do.
So I have an uncle who has a lot of food texture things, which I think a lot of people do.
Like aversions to food textures.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And we were trying to get him to like eat candies and stuff because like he doesn't like a lot of like vegetables and stuff like that, but we figured like he would like candies. So we offered one of these and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. He threw it in his mouth. and
Hold it
he-
up higher to the camera, so product placement.
Yeah,
Yes.
he threw a Nerd's gummy cluster in his mouth immediately, like, and
Was it because it was crunchy or because it was chewy?
you know, I didn't ask him because he was gagging so much. That's a good question though. Maybe a bit of both.
Okay. I had a coworker who was like, he's really like textures really bug him. Have you had a Cinnabon Delight at Taco Bell? Let me paint a picture for you.
There's Cinnabons at Taco Bell.
Not Cinnabon. Cinnabon Delights. Wow, this thing already failed. Gosh dang it, dude.
Just turn it off. Just turn
No,
it off.
no. It
Okay,
affects the lighting
wow.
now. Okay.
Okay.
I have the remote with me. All right. For the listeners at home, okay, I'm still having problems with the logo on the TV.
It's fine.
It fell asleep, and I don't know how to keep it on. Anyways. Cinnamon Delights.
Yeah.
So, let me paint a picture for you. Fried like a donut hole.
If I can also just quickly preface of why, like I didn't go to Taco Bell until I was like well into college. So
Can you recall your first Taco Bell experience, and what was it like?
I think you guys took me.
We did.
I think so, and it was a beefy Frito burrito.
What'd you think?
I got it. I was like,
Yeah.
this is so much food, so
Yeah.
so little money.
People complain about Taco Bell a lot because they say all the food tastes the same, but it's in different shapes.
It's,
I'm like,
that's kind of true.
Yeah, who cares?
But yeah, it
Yeah,
tastes
oh,
good.
yeah.
Sorry,
I'd
but
rather-
cinnamon.
yeah, Cinnabon Delights. So imagine like a donut hole,
Okay.
but it's more cakey a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, and then injected into the donut hole is Cinnabon cream cheese frosting. Actual Cinnabon cream cheese frosting. They have a
Okay.
collab.
Okay.
They're like
Makes sense.
fusion. And imagine that donut hole like covered in cinnamon sugar. Voila, you get a Cinnabon Delight. Next episode, I'll bring some, and then you can try it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll remember that. Who's gonna be Jeffrey? Do you want to be? Do you want to make sure put that down?
Put it in the Side Tangent Google Calendar.
Yeah. Can you put that on
That
the
I
calendar?
don't check.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Clear my schedule for next week. Okay, make sure I get Cinnabon Delights. Yeah. So this is a lot of like setup for this very like uneventful story. Had a coworker
Okay.
that had just a big aversion to textures, and so when one day I was like by a Taco Bell and I was grabbing some lunch, and then the thing about Cinnabon Delights, they sell them in either a 2-pack or a 12-pack, which is the dumbest like ratio ever because 2 is not enough and 12 is way too much for one person. They need anyways. So I usually get 2-packs. That was a side tangent. So I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna get the whole office, like our small group, like some Cinnabon Delights. So I brought like a 12-pack. I brought it to the office. People were having some. I'm like, hey, so and so. We'll call him Dave for. I don't know who I'm protecting here, but I'm calling him Dave.
Sure.
Hey Dave, do you want a Cinnabon Delight? He goes, no. He's like those are gross. And I'm like, oh, have you had them before? No, I haven't. I just know I won't like it. I'm like, well, how do you know you're not gonna like it if you haven't eaten it yet? I was coworkers with him for a whole year. It took me like 6 months to finally get him to eat a freaking Cinnabon Delight.
Wow.
He refused to eat it, and then he ate it, and he was like, that's not bad.
Oh, okay. I was hoping yours would end how mine did, where he immediately just like.
No.
threw up.
That's why all the setup. That was
That-
not worth it.
No,
that story
no.
was not worth it. I'm sorry to the listeners at home. That story
No.
was not.
Don't-
worth it.
Don't put your. It is worth it because I feel like everyone can have empathy towards spending a long time to convince
Am I the
someone.
worst?
Am I the worst? Can I ask the purpose of this? Because it's not in your fanny. It's the chair's fanny.
Before you got here, I was just like setting everything up, and I looked at the pouch. I'm like, what's something funny I could put in there? So I started looking around, and I'm like, you know what? I'll do something nice for Parker. Well, you know what I really, really wanted to do? Put chocolate pudding in there, like just the pudding, not in the cup. Just like
I just put my
and
hand
it's
in.
like, what is this? It's chocolate pudding.
That's probably not what my first instinct would have been. But this is I like this more than pudding.
Yeah, you can put it away.
I'll be honest though, your beginning to this podcast threw me off because I thought you were going to do what we usually do, where you introduce yourself and then you introduce.
Oh, I
me.
didn't introduce myself, huh?
Yeah, you should probably.
It's your boy Jared.
Hi, my name is Parker. Once I almost got killed by a dog named Princess.
What happened?
Okay, so
I need to know what kind of dog too. That needs to be in the story's details.
so it was like a Rottweiler, I think. It was
okay, that makes sense.
Big angry dog. But so I was, we'll just say I was like delivering a package to this house, and what I failed to notice, because I'm an idiot, which is a through line in a lot of these stories, was there were signs saying don't get out of your car, because this house was not a normal house. This house was like a shelter for formerly abused dogs.
Okay.
So it was where dogs, and it's a very sweet story. Like,
that's dark.
It's very dark, but like this,
it's cool that it exists.
It's cool.
But it's just sad.
This guy, like, I only got to talk to him for a bit. You'll see why in a second. But he was like this dog whisperer, where he literally could get these animals that were like these dogs that have been abused to the point that they were feral and attacked any human, and he like somehow could get them to like him and make them comfortable around him. Amazing. I don't know how.
Right.
But he only could really do it for himself. So I didn't notice in the sign that was like, do not get out of the car. So I step out of the car, and I'm immediately surrounded by like 4 dogs. All of them big dogs.
Was this in Kentucky?
This wasn't
Okay,
Kentucky.
okay.
And they're like dead still. And the guy I was with was like, get back in the car. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, they're dogs. And I look down at the closest one, Rottweiler. And I'm like, hey, buddy. And that's when the silence broke, and they all 3 lunged at me. I screamed, jumped in the car, closed the door. They were like clawing at the glass. It was like the scene from Jurassic Park. Terrifying.
Jeez.
This poor guy was like, you know, the signs everywhere saying, and he probably has to deal with this all the time. He comes running, and we like roll down the window to try to talk to him. And at the second we do that, this same Rottweiler literally like gets its mouth like between the glass and the door, like trying to bite us. And he's like, "Get down, Princess." Who names this dog Princess? He like, it takes all his strength to get the dogs off and send them away. He's like, "Well, I guess you can tell why we don't need security."
Yeah,
like,
that's terrifying.
It was terrifying, and we talked to him for a bit while all these dogs are trying to kill us, and he's like,
"All right, bye."
Yeah, I was like, if you visit again, just don't get out of the car. Like, call me. So,
call me.
Yeah.
I never got chased by dogs in my mission, but 2 stories for you. First story, we pull up to this like trailer, and we're about to get our car. I kid you not, maybe 100 chickens out of nowhere surround our car, and they just like stand there staring at us. They didn't attack us like they attacked you. And I was like, where did you guys come from? Because this trailer was in the middle of nowhere, so there wasn't a lot of places to hide. So they just, out of the woodwork, I'm not even exaggerating. There was a lot of chickens that surrounded us. Second story, pull up to another trailer park, and then there was 2 geese. Maybe it was swans. They were big. They were pretty big.
I bet were they mean? Because that would be geese.
Yeah. And so they went like, and then they both started chasing us. And the dude came out of his house, and he had like a tiny little whip. He's like, bad, bad, bad. And they started chasing our car, and they started pecking at our tires. And I had never been like chased like that before.
Dude, no, geese are terrifying.
Yeah, dude, that's like, praying mantises are number 1. Geese, top 5 scariest animals I've ever seen.
I've heard that in China they use geese as kind of like watchdogs, because
that makes sense.
Like, they're basically like a sound mine, I guess. Like, if you step into their territory, they start yelling and chasing you. So it's like,
that makes sense.
It's just good security.
That's that's like when people, like, a lot of people are surprised when they realize when they find out that birds are descendants of dinosaurs. Then you meet a geese. You meet geese.
Yeah.
A geese. You mean a goose? Jeez.
A singular geese.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone always goes for like chickens with that analogy, but I feel like geese are the most dinosaur-like. They're the predators.
Yeah. 100%.
Going back to dogs, I'm sorry we keep going on tangents.
Right.
We had a plan, but
Yeah,
usually-
we actually
so-
like coordinated the episode today. We haven't even started any of the things we had prepared.
So I once got when I was a kid, I got to tour like a hydroelectric dam here in Utah, and it's cool because I didn't know this.
So there's a dam.
A dam.
Okay.
I don't know why I added that. It did energy.
Okay.
It had, but I didn't know this. But apparently, most dams, or at least most large concrete structures that are built, have a bunker inside, just because there's a lot of concrete already, like Sector 7 from the hit movie Transformers.
Yeah. Check it out. It's on Amazon Prime right now.
But before we got to the dam, well, before we went inside and saw all the cool stuff, there was a bunch of dogs in cages, and we're like, "Oh, can we pet the dogs?" Like, no, these dogs are actually so aggressive that the military and the police can't use them. So we just basically like have them as a walking killer machine, and like I
Like, I imagine like the security detail that like takes place in a dam and stuff. Like, but can you imagine like for whatever reason you're breaking into a dam and you're like, okay, I'm prepared for everything, and then 6 dogs just show up. You're like, oh,
I also, but because they're in cages, so it's like how, like, if you have a guy already there that sees them to open the door to release the dogs. First off, you don't have you don't have it on good authority that the dogs will attack the intruder. They might attack you too, if what they told us was correct.
mutual destruction.
But also, like, if you're there opening the door, can't you also just like call the police or like hit them with a bat yourself? I don't understand.
Good. Next episode, the TV's not going to be here, and so this is not going to be a problem. I don't know what the setup's going to look like next episode, but yeah, listeners at home, TV went out again. I don't know what to do, dude. We're
It's
balling
fine.
on a budget. Everything's
We'll have
ruined
it
now.
fixed by next time by it not being here next
Yeah.
time.
Just get rid of the problem. Avoidance, right? Avoid problems. Real quick. Oh wait, you had something to say.
Well, I actually wanted to hear what I wanted to see. I don't know if this is what you're about to bring
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
but we should come.
Yeah.
We should have.
We're
another
gonna
bit
start
of
the
Jared's
second.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is the second installation of our new segment. Things I think about a lot, but I have a hard time explaining why.
Rolls
And
right off the tongue.
Jeffrey's gonna have the title right here. We're ready to roll. So this one's kind of dark, and this one's fairly new to the list. But I was thinking about it a lot
Okay.
this last week in particular. You've seen Hunger Games.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna preface this question. If you were okay, I'm gonna preface
It's
this.
terrifying that was the context needed.
Well, look, so because I know you, and I know most of the people I've asked this question to. Let's say you're there in District 12.
Yeah.
You're in Candace's position. One of your
Yes.
brothers gets called.
Yeah.
Do you volunteer as tribute?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I would 100% do that for my siblings or any of my loved ones, really. I think I would only do family. Like, love you guys as my friends, but I think it's safe to say,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'd be like, anyways, my family, my siblings, for sure. Because,
But
listen,
anyone outside that circle.
yeah,
no.
yeah. So yeah, for any of your siblings, I know you would do the same. Everyone I've asked, most people would do it because I think it's because the fear of death isn't as big as the fear of loss.
Mhm.
Put that on a plaque and hang it up. I feel like that's a bar. If I have to say that, maybe not. Anyways, so the fear of death isn't as big as the fear of loss. So I was thinking, this is what I've been thinking about, is that, but it only really works if I win the Hunger Games, because then the thing that I fear more than death is loss, and I'm putting my loved one through that if I don't win the Hunger Games. So let's say one of your brothers, you volunteer as tribute,
Okay.
and then you don't win the Hunger Games, and so now your brother is now like has this like guilt or whatever feeling pain that comes with that, and so it's almost worse than if he just like I don't know if with the same logic you use, you put them through something worse if you don't freaking win the Hunger Games.
Well, I don't know. Okay. And so if my brother was up there
Mhm.
and I volunteered for him, I'm not volunteering because I don't want to deal with the pain of him dying. I'm volunteering because I want him to live and do something with his life.
No, just totally crap on my entire thing. Like, oh, Jesus.
But that's the whole point of us talking about. So like,
But like, I think part of that is rooted in the idea, like, I don't know if I could live with myself knowing that my brother or my sister went out to the Hunger Games.
I
Like
guess
that would kill me inside.
I guess, but I don't think that would be your immediate thought. I think that's something like
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that would come to you afterwards, and maybe your brother would have that survivor's guilt. But at least, in my opinion, like of the two options, living is always better. So if you could get your younger
Fair enough.
if you could get your
Fair
younger
enough.
sibling to live, it's like you better not misuse this chance I'm giving you.
Fair enough. But it's just ironic
Sure.
because the same logic that I used to volunteer would be like quite a shame if I didn't win the Hunger Games.
It would also be.
Which I think we've talked about before. I know for a fact I'm not winning the Hunger Games.
I think I could get.
I think you could get far.
I could get at least to the halfway point.
Dude, yeah, I think you could too.
I couldn't kill anyone. I don't have the skills. And the second I met someone, I'd be dead. But just like surviving off the land and avoiding people, I could get to like the top 10.
I think part of me would have a hard time if it was like Katniss and Peeta at the end. If that was us, like I would have a hard time killing the other person from my district.
I don't think I would.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
You just said
Well,
I would have a hard time killing.
they're my. Well, no, I'm not saying I'd have a hard time out of morality. I'd have a hard time out of skills.
Oh,
But
okay.
if they gave me an opportunity, I'd be like, it's the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life's a dirty game. You gotta. Was that a slingshot? Is that what your weapon of choice is?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
No, okay.
Dang,
One second. Let me
David and
first
Goliath.
adjust. I've heard that the distance or the speed at which ancient people could get slingshots is comparable to a pistol. Like,
All of a sudden, David and Goliath is not that cool of a story.
I mean, they're like it's like he basically brought a pistol to a knife fight.
That's disappointing.
I mean, it's still impressive.
Anyways, I think about it a lot because it's just ironic, almost as if the Hunger Games is not a very ethical thing to do.
Do you know what's funny? I feel like they even address that in the Hunger Games, where like even though Katniss like survives, and spoilers, she wins. But it's like she's still.
Imagine one person's like, "Oh, what?" I was gonna read it.
She like wins, but she still needs to survive like the guilt and trauma of afterwards. So I feel like there's something there with your deep thought.
Yeah, you did kind of crap on it immediately, though.
Well, because it needed to be.
Look, I prefaced this in the last episode, though. These thoughts aren't like they're not true. Most of them aren't true, or there's a lot of reasonable explanation to them. I still think about them, and I ignore all those explanations. Here's another quick one for you.
Okay.
Okay, and then we can move on to whatever crap you decide to pull out. So, this is one I've thought about since I was a little kid. Now that I'm an adult, I know how ridiculous it is, but this is
Okay.
just the thought that I had. And sometimes I just I know the science behind it.
Oh,
It doesn't make sense.
last time you said that, it really
So-
concerned me.
Imagine there's two Hulks. Imagine, how Hulk is just strong beyond belief. Let's say we're both the Hulk right now.
Okay.
If I pick you up,
You're Red Hulk and I'm Green Hulk.
sure. Why do I have to be red? I'm wearing green right now. Can we switch?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
probably.
Equally as strong though. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say I grab you by the neck and I lift you up with one arm. And then, listen.
I know where this is
I
going.
didn't even finish it.
I swear you
didn't
brought
even
this up to me on
I definitely have. Okay. The viewers don't know. Okay. Listen. Okay. I pick you up with one arm.
Yeah.
And then you reach down, being as strong as the Hulk, and grab me by the neck and lift me with one arm with pure bicep strength. Stop laughing and listen to me. Okay? How come you can't just sit there and float? Because they're both holding each other up. Now, I know why you can't. I know what I've been told. But to sit there and I'm supposed to just accept that
Well, because
of gravity and the distribution of force. They just tell you this crap, and we're just like, okay, cool. Now I'm thinking about that again.
it does pose a question. Has anyone ever tested that?
I've thought of this a lot, and that's disgusting. I accidentally spit on myself. Gross. Jeffrey, cut that out.
I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't said anything.
Okay, well, you noticed, anyways. I thought the same principle would apply if I took two poles, and then there's another pole sticking out that holds up this first pole, but the other pole reaches down and touches.
Like a flagpole?
Just like two rods or something. This is I'm explaining to you this how I thought of it as a kid when I was trying to make sense of this thing called life and the world around me.
I have one like that, and I've had like actual physicists explain this to me, and I understand the science, but you know how like if you got a boat, you got a sail, and you had a fan pointed at the sail, it won't work.
Yeah,
I understand why, but it just feels like it should.
it
work.
doesn't. Yeah, it's same thing with like if you had like a UV light that could like that can do like solar rays or something.
Yeah.
How come you can't like
Yeah.
have perpetual energy?
Yeah. And like I understand why.
Yeah.
I understand why, but at this in many deep
It's like,
ways,
but I don't
I
understand
still
why.
don't
I
understand.
know there's an explanation. I
It's
know
like-
there's science behind it, but it's like my brain can't wrap my head
But
around
it makes sense. Why not?
Yeah.
Why can't I just blow it a cell?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like gravity. You know what's funny? It's funny. I told you when we were talking today, I told you I want to take gravity off the list. And here I am talking about it. anyways.
Just back
It-
on the
There's like,
menu,
oh yeah, the
boys.
more mass it has, the more gravity it has. Like, and it's just like, I don't like it pulls things in and yada yada the explanation. I won't get into it because one, I don't really know how to explain
Just
it.
watch Interstellar.
Yeah, watch Interstellar. Like, I'm just supposed to just like accept that. Like, it just like I just like, okay, cool, sounds good. It's gravity. Makes no sense.
Or
It does make sense, I should say, but it's like
it
I
does.
can't wrap my head around it.
It logically makes sense, but when you think about it with your like common sense brain, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. It's like,
Because we're not supposed to fathom it. Like the
Well,
concept of
you can't.
infinity.
but it's like when you watch Interstellar for the first time and you realize that how heavy something is can affect how fast time goes. And you're like,
What? Yeah, like I'm just supposed to. We just live with that.
do you think taller, like a bodybuilder, someone that's denser, time goes faster for them? Slower? Faster. It would go faster for them. So you and I will live longer than.
It's because what the concept of time is. Like this goes back to last episode. Like what the freaky.
What is time?
Yeah.
We just agreed that. Actually, I have an answer to that. Maybe.
Are you gonna give it, or are you just gonna talk about it?
Well, apparently, isn't it like atomic clocks? Do you know atomic clocks? Atomic
yeah.
clocks.
Yeah.
It's there's a type of radioactive. Okay, whatever. Is what I think most clocks, like I think Apple clocks are based off of this. This is all something like my grandpa told me like
Okay.
10 years ago. So I don't know how. I think this is true, but most of our clocks are based off atomic clocks, and they are based off of there's this radioactive material that like
I know what you're talking about.
it like pulses or sensor whatever like every minute or second or something, like some perfect increment of time, and that's basically what modern time is based off of. So that makes sense to me.
Here's another thing I think about. It wasn't even on the list. Like someone one day was like, "Today is Tuesday."
Yeah.
And we're all just like, "Yep." And from that day forward, it's always been Tuesday today.
Because and the only one I know is that like Thursday is like based off Thor. I
Really?
think. Actually, you know, now that I said that, don't know if that's true. Never
Just made
get
it up.
Someone just told me like, yeah, it's like Thor's day. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Never checked.
I'm gonna change the
But
subject.
August is from Augustus Caesar,
That I knew.
and July is Julius
Yes,
Caesar.
yes, those I knew.
And that's all I know.
Yeah, October is 8. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the 8th month.
You joke, but I was like January, February.
I'm gonna change the subject.
Okay,
Who do you think's winning the Super Bowl on Sunday? I know you don't watch football,
I don't.
and like it's
I
the
also
Chiefs
don't-
versus the Eagles.
Well, okay, I was about to say like I don't want to date it too much, but then at the same time also,
This
hasn't-
episode will be out before the Super Bowl.
no, I know, but I'm saying like if someone were to also hasn't it been like the Chiefs the past while? So,
It's their third time in a row,
so statistically, like
and the Chiefs and Eagles were one of those 3 times.
okay, so
So-
you don't know if this is 2025 or whenever the previous one was. I guess I'm kind of letting it out of the bag, but
Yeah,
I mean, if the conspiracy theories are to be believed, the Chiefs will win, is what I've been told.
yeah. Well, I think it's a fair guess. It's probably a safe bet. I don't know who's gonna win. I don't even care who wins, really. I'm probably gonna go for the Eagles just because I like one of their players. I like Saquon Barkley a lot. What position does Saquon Barkley play? Still a guess.
Defense.
No, offense.
Oh,
Right.
well,
So you had a 50-50 chance and you ruined it. I guess you could have guessed kicker, which isn't. Anyways, that's all I really want to talk about the Super Bowl. Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair. Anything about the Super Bowl?
I don't know. I don't really watch the NFL as much. I'm more of a college football person, as you know. Go BYU Cougars. So So I don't know. I do fantasy football every year, um, and I kind of just root for whatever team the players that I draft are. But the NFL, it's not my jam.
But you watch the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. I watch football still. Like football's football to me, and I still watch it.
So we should talk about what are your favorite Super Bowl commercials in the past?
Oh
Because that's the
man,
only thing I remember.
yeah. I'm trying to remember. Doritos always has bangers.
Doritos has
And
great
I'm
ones.
trying to remember. Like the only one I know, there was some that just like had me rolling laughing. The only one I can remember is when the dude thinks he's in a time machine,
Oh, yeah.
and then he walks out, and then an
And
old
the
man
kid's
walks
like,
by, and he was like, oh my gosh, it worked." Or there's one where the guy was like, "Hey, are you gonna finish those Doritos?" No, wait, no, I remember which one's my favorite. It just hit me right now. It's when the guy was like, he has like the magic ball, and he's like, "It's a magic ball. Like, look, are we gonna have Doritos for lunch?" And he just chucks it at the vending machine, and it breaks. And then the guy's like, "Yup." And then the dude that he shows it to like picks it up. He's like, "Am I gonna get a promotion?" Turns around, chucks it. And his boss turns the corner right as he chucks it, just hit him right in the gut. And then the guy comes back and goes, "Nope." I don't even remember what the one I was gonna say. That one's my favorite Super Bowl commercial. Doritos always comes with bangers.
I remember. Do you remember the Pepsi Max commercials? I don't even remember.
Jog my memory.
I don't even remember what Pepsi Max was. It was like an energy drink or something.
Something
Pepsi
like
made.
that.
Can't remember. But it was like the whole bit was like just like if you drink a Pepsi Max, you're good. So like the first scene is like two guys at a bowling alley, and one's like his head's down and he's tying his shoe, and the other guy like I don't know why he holds the bowling bag like above him to like give it to him once he's done, and then the bowling ball falls out and hits him in the back of the head and like snaps his neck, and he's freaking out at the guy. He was like, "I'm good," because he drank a Pepsi Max. And then there's like the next.
Yes, that's a very bad precedent for the young viewers.
What?
Like, what if a kid just like, "I'm
Well,
drinking
I don't
Pepsi
think
Max
they
and-"
sell Pepsi Max anymore, so we're good.
Oh, so that's okay. Oh, thank
maybe
goodness.
this is why.
Keep them off.
and then
Keep them off the streets.
The next scene is like a guy like freaking out. He's like through the sunroof of a limo, like celebrating. And they go into an underground parking garage, and he hits his head on the back of like the top of the underground parking garage, and then hits his head on like the roof of the, and then like just keeps bouncing back, and then he just falls. And he's like, "I'm good." And that's it.
Some bangers.
Bangers.
I was in a sports management class, and they said that apparently this has been voted on. I don't really know, but the greatest Super Bowl commercial of all time was this one for. It was an Apple commercial, but it was like old, like back when Apple was like.
Is it
like when she like runs in and like throws the hammer or whatever at the screen? It's like the greatest commercial of all time.
Yeah, because it's like.
And clearly they've never seen Jake from State Farm. Clearly.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Jake from State Farm.
Like, I know that wasn't a Super Bowl commercial, so maybe
Wasn't it? Wasn't what? I thought the first one was.
It might have been, but that one has stood the test of time.
That's a great one.
Now, okay, that versus the Tootsie Pop commercial with the owl. Oh, come on. Maybe that answers the question then. Mr. Owl, how many licks does it get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And he goes, 1, 2, 3, eats it. It's like an old commercial,
Okay,
but it's been like they played it for years. You never seen that commercial? I forget you didn't have cable though.
Yeah. It was just 4Kids TV and
We're
PBS.
at a weird this partnership is weird because I'm just like so enveloped in pop culture and the internet, and I'm like imprisoned by it, and I'm like addicted to it, and you just like live your life normally and probably blissfully without it.
I think it's the reverse where you live your life normally, and I'm like a caveman among geniuses.
Depends on how you look at it. But I just feel like what makes this a beautiful show, Side Tangent, is that none of us are ever on the same page. we're never like able to talk about something besides anime, which are leaning away from.
Since we've already blown what year it is.
Are we trying to hide that?
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
It's news to me.
Utah, we're getting a hockey team. Have you heard of the whole naming stuff?
Yeah, I've seen some of the names and stuff.
Because I think it was going to be Yeti.
I think there's copyright issues because of
the
water bottle Yeti or tumbler Yeti.
So then that was gotten rid of, and maybe Outlaws like the new winner. I don't know. Like it's
Outlaws seem to be like one that they were wanting to bring back.
I don't know, but we're gonna ignore all of that. But in the spirit of that and the Super Bowl coming up,
Are you gonna ask me my like what name I think it should be?
not for hockey.
Oh,
We're gonna imagine this would never happen. I think I don't know. I don't know this. I don't know the logistics or how any of this works. But let's say Utah gets a professional football team.
one day it's gonna happen.
Does
One day,
does Arizona have one?
yeah, the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, okay. Does Idaho have one?
Nope,
Okay, Utah or Idaho, whichever one you want.
Utah. Why the freak would Idaho get
Well,
one?
because you've lived in Idaho.
Yeah,
And-
but I don't like. But
Okay.
I'm here in Utah now.
Okay, a Utah one, or really any state. That
Also, I
doesn't-
think Utah would make the most sense economically
okay, okay,
out of the two.
fair. It can be Utah, or it can be like any state that doesn't have a professional team. But
Okay.
Utah, if you pick, I want you to come up with a name.
Okay, for Utah,
Sure, if
okay,
that's
for
easier.
Utah, the Salt Lake City Super Soakers.
Oh no!
I thought of this joke ahead of time. Sorry, I made this joke to some friends before when we were deciding the hockey club thing. So that was not off the top of the head, but like once I got the gist of where you're getting, I was waiting to say that joke. So
Like, yeah, that's our team name. What about
the
it?
Super Soakers, you know, like the water gun.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right?
The mascot's just like
Yeah, the water
it'd
gun.
be easy. Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect for Utah.
Yeah.
The Super Soakers
Perfect.
because of the water gun.
It's a counterpoint right there. It's like no one can make fun of us because it's literally our mascot.
Yeah. Yep.
I like
That's
that.
the only thing.
That's
it
the
means.
only thing.
Anyways, in terms of actual, it's a tough one. Like I know Utah in particular. To stick with Utah, like if it was supposed to be something that represented it, like something with bees would be like because the bumblebee state,
Killer bees.
killer bees,
Remember
the wasps.
when like that was a thing? We were like terrified killer bees will get us.
Yeah, was that? Oh, the wasp. Yeah. Around COVID, right?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, it was
even
part.
think
It was part of all the 2020
Yeah,
drama. Yeah. So like the wasp, the killer bees,
killer bees.
the Salt Lake City killer. Oh, wait, there's already the Salt Lake City minor league baseball team, the bees. Can't use
Oh,
the bees.
okay. Well,
Okay.
but that's why you add the killer.
Yeah. The Utah. I don't even
The
know.
honeysuckles.
No.
The Utah honeysuckles.
I mean, you could maybe go Pioneers. Nah.
I like the idea. So my high school growing up, American Fork, we have like one small cave close by.
And that's
In a
been your
different
guys'
city.
entire personality.
Yeah,
For
I mean,
years.
it's all and it's a very pretty cave, but like it's the one cave. So our mascot was the caveman, and I think that's funny because like most other states have more caves than us. Like Kentucky
Yeah.
has thousands of them, but I think it would be funny just still of that one cave in Utah. Like we're the Utah caveman.
We earned it. Well, that's the one cave in American Fork. There's also the Ted Bundy cave.
But is that really a cave? Have you been?
Yeah. Well, I haven't been there.
Is it
but
like straight up a cave or just kind of like an alcove?
I don't know, but I know people go there a lot.
Okay, maybe
And,
it's
like when you're crazy. Actually, I don't want to talk about that.
the Utah Bundys.
Well, I mean, I feel like you could also use like a typical mascot like the Utah Bears or the Utah. You can go Cougars because we had a lot of mountain lions out here and stuff like that. That's kind of boring though, huh?
Are Grizzlies a mascot?
Not in football. In basketball, they are.
No, well, that's probably so too close.
Sometimes there's some teams that share, but like if I don't know if we want to get creative, honestly, I
The-
can't get
the
Yeti.
Utah, well, we could do the Utah like buffalo because of Antelope Island.
Because antelope and buffalo are the same thing. Nice.
Are they the same?
They're
thing?
not.
Oh no! Wait, no, sorry.
They're not even close to the
I
same.
misheard. No, Antelope Island is this like giant island.
Yes,
you know it.
I've never been there. I know what it is.
But there's a bunch of like bison there.
Yes, hence why it's called Antelope Island.
I don't know why.
Like,
it's
that
called
makes
Antelope.
sense.
There's also a bunch of spiders there, apparently.
Oh, maybe the Utah Spiders.
Utah spiders?
Yeah.
That work?
I don't know. It's what are we known for? We don't have anything
Well, we're
here.
known for a lot of things, but most of them are
religious.
religious.
Utah prophets. The Utah clergymen. The
The Utah salesman.
Utah martyrs. Whoa, that would
That
be
would
cool.
probably not be allowed.
No,
sounds pretty.
100%.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue nicely.
Rolls off the tongue.
And I think also you can use Salt Lake.
I don't think either side would like that. I don't think pro-religious or anti-religious people would like the martyrs. But it sounds cool.
Maybe the Mountaineers.
That could work.
That is a mascot in like college and stuff. Maybe the Salt Lake City militia. I don't know.
No, that would not work.
No. It
Also
wouldn't.
sounds cool. The Utah Salty people, because of Greg Salt.
The Utah Deseret. It'd be like the Utah Jazz, which is like a singular, like it's not really a thing.
Just a concept.
Yeah, Deseret.
The Utah,
Dude, the Utah Deseret, that would be kind of cool.
the Utah Kids, but with two. No. Hear me out. Because of Billy the Kid.
Right, that's exactly what everyone was. That's
Okay.
what I was thinking too. Billy the Kid. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay, you're fine. You're right. The Utah Desperados.
Desperado. Chilling in never mind.
I don't know what you're referencing.
You want to know what it would take for us to get a football team?
I actually don't know what it would
So
take.
I took a class where we talked about like stadiums and like kind of the cost. A lot of it has to do with like the government needs, like Utah as a state needs to decide like is having a football stadium and building that, because funding the stadium is kind of is a huge, like, I don't want to say barrier, but that's like just something that you have to consider.
I didn't think of that.
And so a lot of different, like every stadium and venue out there, especially bigger ones, every like city and state needs to decide like how they're going to fund it. And so there's like the Dallas Cowboys, their stadium is completely funded and built by their owner. But there's other places like Arizona. I did a report on this. The Arizona Cardinals Stadium is a mixture of some investors and then this department made by the state, which, because it's kind of beneficial to the state to bring people in. And then you have to think about how you fund it continuously. So like that's why a lot of these stadiums have, you know, concerts and stuff, or like they're always having events there because they need to like pay for it and still pay for it and stuff. So what we really need is like, one, they need a place to build the stadium. Two, they need to figure out how they're going to fund it. So a lot of people, they either tax the people or they tax like the hotels and stuff. So when people come and visit, depending on how many people come in. And then, so like Las Vegas, for instance, a lot of Las Vegas natives don't pay extra taxes on their stadiums, but they tax more on like hotel rooms, rental cars, things like that. And that pays for stuff like the stadium and things like that. So it's just a matter if Utah as a state, like, and then obviously the league needs to like want a new team, or a team needs to leave. But yeah, they really need to just figure out how they're going to fund it, and if it's even like profitable to have a stadium. Because like the Olympics, it like devastates a lot of countries, or like puts them in a lot of debt. Except Utah, when the Winter Olympics came last, it actually was very beneficial to Utah because the University of Utah's football stadium was built just for the Olympics.
Oh,
still gets used. The ice arenas around here, the one in Provo, still gets used. And then Park City is a big tourist attraction, still gets used. And so it was actually a big like economic gain for Utah. But like the Beijing Olympics in 2008, those stadiums, most of the stuff there is abandoned. Like most people don't go to it.
Isn't it the same for like the Sochi Olympics?
Yes, that's another one. It's like most of it's just abandoned because there was never a plan to how to use it after. So it's more of it's a fact of like it's like we probably could get a team here, but it's like, would we be able to fund the stadium?
Like, do we have the infrastructure?
Yeah, do we have the infrastructure to keep it going? I never thought I would ever use that information, but here I am.
See, the college degree was worth it.
Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree, everyone. I hope you didn't know that. We both do. We're college educated men, and we both work at the same place. Anyways, I think it's a good place to leave off.
I think so.
Do you have anything else to say?
The only thing is, for listeners and our watchers, if you have any ideas for a football team, whether it be here in Utah or just like no state in particular, just a funny mascot name that you can think of, or your state, and if you don't have a professional team, like send us your funny mascot ideas. It could be the Anytown Rabbits. It could be the
Rabbids or Rabbits?
Rabbits, Raving Rabbits, like Rayman Raving Rabbits.
That's a good game.
Or it could be the Taxi Drivers. I don't know, whatever it is. Just whatever you think would be funny.
Yeah. Thanks guys for tuning in. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Instagram, Reels. Not TikTok. Still banned from it. I can't believe I did that.
Maybe we'll get back.
Catch us next time in our new studio, which would be the basement of my new place. And who knows what the freak it'll look like. Not going to have this TV again, so say goodbye to it. Anything else?
That's it.
See you guys.
Bye.